Pianist Gwen Rouger performs my piece Enfold on an amplified old upright to one audience member or audient at a time. The setting is a blacked out, quiet room with warm, low lighting. Rouger shares headphones with the audience sitting beside her before embarking on an ASMR-like tour of the instrument. Here's a trailer. Headphones are recommended. This piece is a part of One to One, which was last produced in late February 2020, just before the pandemic. It's an intimately staged sequence of 3 pieces. During each encounter, performer and audient co-regulate one another's nonverbal rhythms live to develop behavioural attunements and empathetic connections. In the other pieces, violinist Marco Fusi synchronizes with each audience's respiratory cycles. And gestural performance artist Winnie Wang reciprocates listening and observing attitudes. In Enfold, Rouger explores tenuously sounding, idiosyncratic creaks and resonances specific to the instrument in front of her, via gentle scrapes, taps, brushes, caresses, and more. Her tour is not predetermined. Rather, Rouger draws from the buckets of open-ended gestural and sonic tendencies that constitute her performance persona. She dynamically adapts these materials to the contingencies of the instrumental situation, social interaction, and ambient environment. The threshold instrumental sounds require extreme amplification to be heard, which also raises a whole host of unexpected events to a commensurate loudness. Furthermore, the intimate setting foregrounds subtle behavioural rhythms that are often non-conscious, but ever present even when people assume an apparently receptive audience role. For example, nuances like blinking frequencies, postural leans and shifts, hand gestures on laps, etc. These are all usually designed to be imperceptible in concert halls through distance, acoustics, and stage lighting. However, Rouger pays close attention to these actions, framing them as cues to respond to and infer the quality of each audience's undulating engagement. She tracks gaze and facial behaviour, vocal behaviour, kinesics, proxemics, and so on. As Rouger's mediated knowledge of a particular instrument's affordances grow, she translates and reciprocates compatible ambient sounds and nonverbal behaviours. Here, compatibility means that Rouger prioritizes events that share some acoustic, gestural, or symbolic features in common with her persona to facilitate heightened quietude, positive involvement, and rapport. If things go poorly, she compensates for low engagement or disruption by pursuing greater contrast in techniques or breaking off before settling back into reciprocation and translation once again. In this manner, instrumental, electronic, interpersonal, spatial, even ecological dynamics are all whimsically linked and traced. For example, as Gwen very slowly depresses keys directly in front of the microphones, she may discover that that specific backcheck felt in the piano's action produces an extremely quiet crinkling sound. Later, she may hear the audient producing a similar sound as they unconsciously draw their fingers a few millimeters across their clothes. Recalling the crinkling felt, Gwen translates this finger drawing across cloth sound, perhaps even reciprocating and transferring the audient's hand gesture to the keyboard. Furthermore, later, she may notice the heating system in the space crackling quasi-periodically, and so returns once more to that crinkling key. She plays, attempting to mimic the heater's distance and level as she perceives it through the microphones, repeating the technique and mixing it with others, asymmetrically entraining to this external source. The possible translations and associations with audience and environments are endless. Rouger may slowly reciprocate an audient leaning in, closing interpersonal distance. Or entrain to the rhythm of a person walking by. Or wait for a cue to begin a new section. Just as each piano, audient, and space will be irreducibly specific and unique, so will be each encounter. These emblematic examples intend to stress that all the entities involved, human and more, are highly complex, multi-layered, and intricately folded. As Latour writes, these entities lend only certain layers of themselves when relating and acting within a given network. By exploring, learning, translating, and whimsically connecting, Rouger performs a recount on all the associated entities that might contribute to the social dynamics at play in a musical setting. A slight hand movement, a heater, a crinkling backcheck felt, a cough, a passing car, a bird call, a hurried glance, a breath. This recount delivers different results every time the attempt is made. With each network tenuously formed, the constituent human and more than human actors are never quite the same, they never relate or associate in the same way, and their interactions always overflow in all directions, not confined to one place, one temporality, or one material quality. By tracing these contingent sketch maps of associations, each performance of Enfold asks participants to consider anew what potentialities lie just alongside the well-connected and stabilized relations primed by the presence of pianists, pianos, microphones, and concert settings. As Rouger puts it, quote, "To play Enfold means to experience a perpetual renewal. It means slowing down time to open yourself up to the other."